Hello? 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 Just link it. Stop with the suspense. And just link it. Can you do that? This video is over an hour long. Nitro. This video is an hour long.
In the biggest social experiment ever done in Minecraft, I scattered 1,000 people across 4 massive islands to simulate a realistic civilization. The players were given no help or guidance, and just like in real life, if you die, you remain dead forever.
Is it leeching to
Now,
watch
each
this?
player has the freedom to do whatever they want. Gather resources, join a society, become a dictator, or if it comes down to it, go to war. With so many people on each island, anything
Should we
can
do this
happen.
in
But I can promise
Blue's
you one
community
thing.
on stream?
This event ended up having the most entertaining
Or even not on
story arc
stream?
I've ever seen. You do not want to miss
It is, who
So
cares?
pick a nation to root for and enjoy the video. I present to you the 1,000 player civilization experiment.
Well, we wouldn't have 1,000 people, but we might have.
Forget, if you want to participate in these videos, join
50
my
or
Discord
so.
server, and of course, subscribe to my channel. All right, everyone ready to be teleported? Jump if you're ready. Okay, here we go.
How do you get so many people to join him? Is he like a million subscriber Andy on YouTube or something?
On day 1, all 1,000 players were teleported to their islands, each its own biome. We had plains, desert, snow, and jungle.
Okay, cool.
Huge.
Most players spent the first
That's
day
what she
scouting their
said.
island, searching for a place to settle, but almost immediately we started to see people dying, and oddly they were
You don't
all
know
coming
this
from
guy?
the snow island. It turned out people were freezing to death after getting stuck in powdered snow,
Ish.
which looks exactly like regular snow, but sucks
Almost
you in
2
like
million
quicksand.
subscribers on YouTube.
Trying to free his friends. Oh no. Even worse for the poor people on the snow island, trees were almost nowhere to be seen. The desert island also had very few trees
So how
that
do you
players
build
needed
stuff?
if they wanted to get wood. But the places where players did find trees quickly became extremely valuable hotspots for groups to settle at and colonize. Look at all these people coming together. Community crafting. They're making progress. Meanwhile, the people on the jungle island had essentially unlimited trees and were thus already thinking about other things. What did you say your plan was?
I'm gonna take over the world. This is my right-hand man.
Darbo. Hello,
Take a sip,
right-hand
thank
man
you,
Darbo.
dude.
Talk to him. He doesn't speak.
While having a lot of trees did seem like an advantage at first, many jungle people found the island to be difficult to traverse, given the immense amount of trees and the hostile mobs that would spawn on the surface due
Oh
to lack of
shit,
sunlight.
spiders
Uh-oh.
and
The
creepers.
fear of traveling also made it more difficult for jungle people to talk with each other, since players could only read chat messages from people 100 blocks away from them or less. Although frankly,
Wait,
at least they
really?
didn't have to see what me and the admins were looking at. Lastly,
Oh.
we get to the Plains Island, and boy was it different from the others.
This is probably like the perfect island.
It
Just
truly was.
no
just
enemies,
the perfect
trees
island to live on,
everywhere.
with green grass, trees, animals,
Easy.
and no natural dangers. You guys make a little animal family or farm. Not needing to worry about dying as much as everyone else, the people on the Plains Island were among the first to start mining for resources like iron or diamonds. They were also the first to build up villages and, yes, to create civilizations.
Which island
Throughout
would
the
you
first
wanna
day,
be
you could
on?
see 2 main groups starting
Plains,
to come together.
desert,
One of
snow,
them, a
or
democracy
jungle?
led by a player named Horace Crown.
What would you
Our
prefer?
aim is building the most beautiful and nicest city on the entire server.
And the second, also a democracy led by a player named Sidefall.
Wait, they built governments?
It was actually kind of odd
Jungle?
how similar these two civilizations were. They were both located on the southern shore, they both had democratic elections, and their leaders both wanted good for their own people. I just hope nothing happens to change that.
Ish, I'm gonna make an Among Us character.
Never mind, I hope they die. Soon it was the
Foreshadowing.
end of day 1. Players across all 4 islands logged off and made plans for the following day.
Kicked? Kicked by an operator?
It was on day 2 when civilizations really began to thrive. In the southeast
They
corner
did all
of the
that in
desert,
one
what used
day?
to be an empty patch of grass was turning into the desert's largest nation. Hello, good sir.
Yo, what's up, Ish? The Sultan is back.
You might recognize the player storming
Okay.
out from my first Civilization video where he led a nation called
Sultan,
the
so
Sultanate.
it's not a
Well,
democracy
now the
then.
Desert Dictator is back with the Sultanate 2.0, and
Yeah.
this time with a population of over 100 people.
I want to maintain order and peace in the desert.
The rules
By
as established
force.
by the Sultan included wear proper attire, do not eat pork, complete your
Yep.
mandatory work, and most importantly,
Yep.
acknowledge the Sultan as the supreme and divinely chosen leader.
Yep.
Moving on, since it was still hard to get food in the dry
I feel like
climate,
that's how
the
Blue's
people of the
government would
Sultanate
be.
focused on developing different types of food
No
production,
pork,
like fishing in the
and
surrounding
you have
ocean.
to- you have
On
to
top of this, a
worship-
player named
worship her.
Drip Chicken made a chicken market, although when I checked it out myself,
The
it turned out to be a very
supreme
different type of market.
Welcome to Los Pollos Hermanos.
Thank you.
Would
Yes?
you like some totally legal sugar?
Huh?
Anyway, we finally go back to the Snow Island. As I was flying around, I found what I can only describe as a British shrimp. Is the cold climate really the best place for a shrimp?
I mean, depends. Look at my little friend over here, you know?
Kim
Wait, who's
Jong
your friend?
Blue.
Underneath.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's
That's a
funny.
little different, but
Did
yeah.
He's chilling.
Oh, he's up here now.
No,
Wait,
no,
what happened?
my fish buddy. Please go back down.
Despite the killer powdered snow and the occasional polar bear, the people on the Snow Island were
Polar
actually doing
bears?
pretty well building settlements together. Nobody was fighting because everyone had one common enemy, the harsh climate. That
True.
being said, it turned
Huddled
out
together
that
for
all
warmth
of
at
these snow
nighttime.
settlements might be a
Cuddle.
bit more than just little communities.
Was that a building
On
made
day
out of
2,
snow?
Rumor was getting out about a conspiracy that, despite them all being spread out across the entire island, a lot of these snow settlements were actually all being run by one single person whose goal was to unify the entire Snow Island under
Oh,
one mighty
shit.
empire. This person's name was Alanulo.
They
and
would
he was
rule
running
the
this
entire world.
empire recruitment operation from an underground bunker. where he felt he was
Underground?
safe
This is
for
underground?
the time being. Essentially, what he would do was hold meetings with people who were already leaders of their own settlements and
Oh,
convince them to
shit.
merge their civilizations with his empire so they would be stronger together. He would give these leaders orders to fulfill, and
You
in
could connect
exchange, they
all
would
the
be
different
guaranteed high-ranking
villages
positions
underground
in
to
the
underground
empire.
tunnels.
If this empire actually succeeds
They could
in
all
uniting
connect.
all 300
That house
people
is
on
sick.
the Snow Island, it would easily become the most powerful nation in the world. In fact, it would be bigger than the Sultanate and the two Plains democracies
Yeah.
combined. Will
Yeah.
this ambitious plan actually succeed? Let's see what happens
Let's
in
see.
the following days.
Yeah. Dude, I'm excited now. I'm locked in. This is better than Game of Thrones. Oh, it's a secret entrance. Well, not with all the torches all over the place, but kind of a secret entrance.
We've now covered the politics of every island except for the jungle.
Yeah, we gotta see
So
the jungle.
What's going on here?
Oh, they're
Frankly,
Christians.
I had no freaking idea. It was chaos. There were about 30 different camps and tribes
Or
spread out across
anarchy.
the entire island, and a lot of them were in constant fights with each other.
Oh, they're fighting
What?
each
What's going
other.
on? There's a fight here. Here's a tribe that imprisoned one of their own members for being, quotes, too rich.
I say we catch him.
Them boots, take your shoes.
So overall, there was chaos.
Okay,
Nobody trusted
eat the
one
rich,
another, and to add
literally?
to this, nobody wanted to travel too far into the jungle because they were scared of rogue tribes and especially hostile
Rogue
mobs.
tribes
We
in the
actually had to
jungle.
remove creepers on day 3 because they were killing too many people.
Oh no. Is this a
Now,
permadeath
there
or
were
no?
actually 2 tribes that were considered the most influential in the
Probably
jungle.
not,
The
right?
first, a river-based settlement called the Sea People,
Oh,
whose leader was
sick.
killed almost immediately by a random rogue tribe. The new
Oh.
leader, Yeatspeak, dedicated his rule to maintaining
Probably
order, but
Noi?
also to keeping his people happy by setting up events like stand-up comedy nights.
I got a few jokes about unemployed people. Oh wait, none of them work.
The tribe was located in the dead center of the jungle, and it was what appeared to be a faction revolving around the worship of a player named Seth. Hello, Mr. Seth.
Oh, what's up, bro?
Oh, this is just creepy. You're
What
telling me
the
this
hell?
isn't a personality cult?
Nah, I wouldn't say that. It's a way of life, all right? It's a religion.
Lastly, as I was flying
Oh,
around, I happened to
no.
run into this guy again.
I'm gonna take
Stare.
over the world.
Believe it or not, he had
The
actually
pumpkins.
become the leader of a pretty impressive settlement. Granted, there was a lot of internal drama in his tribe.
Do you see this like really cool tower thing that we're building here?
Yeah, it looks great.
No.
Yeah, it's really cool, isn't it? And do you see our farm over there?
Yeah.
Cool, nice. Now come over here.
Okay.
Could you tell us what this is?
It's
In
a
short,
tree.
2 of Wazik's tribe members built a librarian's tower, and he thought it was ugly and wanted to burn it down. Now, when I talked to the librarians, they said Wazik just doesn't like the library because he's illiterate. As I said,
Oh,
drama. Now, the jungle
true.
wasn't the only place having problems.
I hate books too,
The Plains
honestly.
Island was
We
seeing
should burn
both
them
a
all.
surge in development. This whole place is awesome, but
Dude,
also a
that's
rise in
sick.
tension. The leader of one of the Plains democracies, Horus Crown, had found out that the other Plains nation, run by Sidefall, had reached out to the Snow Island
No
looking
way.
for potential alliances. Horus
Traitor.
Crown did not like that Sidefall was reaching out to other islands instead of reaching out to him, so he quickly established his own alliance with 2 other Plains settlements, both located
they
on
can
the east
pincer
side
attack
of the
them.
island, which would essentially cut off Sidefall's access to
Yeah.
most of the Plains if a war
Boom.
were to break out.
We think Sightful is definitely up to something, and we're planning to stop him.
The people living on the Plains Island, who had otherwise taken their peaceful lives for granted, were getting very worried about a potential massive war that would devastate their homes.
Is this in KFC? Oh,
Meanwhile, on the desert island, the Sultan Storming Hell was not happy when he discovered that a group of mountaineers had made their home on the mountains
Whoa.
surrounding the Sultanate. So, the 2 groups had a meeting to discuss this dispute over land.
Why does the Sultanate have any more right to a plot of land?
Simply, might makes right. We're stronger, so if it comes down to it, maybe stronger group win.
People in the desert were starting
Okay.
to get worried about Storming Hell's tyrannical
Fight to the
nature, so
death.
some of them moved to a quickly growing democratic nation on the other side of the
Yep,
island.
yep,
This was Theria, the name derived from the Greek word for freedom. I asked their elected president,
Okay.
Saps, about the Sultanate.
Hopefully we can establish some
peaceful relations for now. I mean, we're in the middle of a desert. Why fight, you know?
Overall, each island had its own conflict between the desert's Sultan dominance, the plains' alliance disaster, the jungle's total chaos, and the Snow Empire's takeover. At least one of these conflicts was bound to erupt very soon.
Yeah.
And that conflict?
It's like
was
Risk.
Plains.
You guys ever play the game
Beginning of
Risk?
Day 4, a propagandist told everyone that Sidefall was about
Oh,
to
no.
attack the Plains Island. Horus Crown called it Code Red, and everyone on Plains was freaking out, including these guys at the
Well, of
center
course
of the
you never
Plains
played
Island who
Risk,
built
you're
a
too young.
tavern on a lake. I spoke with the bartender.
Welcome to the tavern. I hope you can enjoy a nice beer, since it might be our last.
Oh shit.
So at this point, you're probably wondering, what was Sidefall actually doing? Well, it turns out Sidefall was just as confused as everyone else since he had no plans to attack anyone. The propagandist
Good
had
game,
lied.
true.
I have no clue what these guys are talking about. I don't
Yeah,
wanna attack
obviously it
anyone.
was
I
a
don't wanna start
setup.
war.
You were framed. I can't believe it.
Yeah,
So
he's
now,
framed.
Both sides were gearing up for a war over nothing but a miscommunication. And all throughout, Sidefall was desperately trying to reach out to the other Plains leader, saying that he didn't want war. The other leaders doubted him, but they actually agreed to meet with him as long as they met on neutral ground.
Okay,
Whoever
what's
told you guys I
neutral?
want war is lying.
Tell us the truth then.
While they talked, Horus Crown secretly had undercover spies search Sidefall's entire village, but he
Oh,
wasn't aware
no.
Sidefall had someone else place a bunch of TNT under his village.
Oh,
but
no.
before things went too far,
Folks, we have a peace deal.
Hell
by the
yeah.
thinnest of margins, crisis was averted. After talking, the leaders had made a peace treaty. I actually didn't get to see much of the meeting, but here's essentially what happened. Sidefall first apologized to the other Plains leaders for not being open with them, specifically about his
Peace,
relationship with the Snow
finally,
Island. He told them
peace.
he had only reached out to Snow in hopes to get on the good side of a player named A Freakin' Turkey, who was apparently Alanulo's second in command. The Plains leaders
Ooh.
discussed their disagreement on foreign relations, Horus Crown preferring keeping alliances within Plains, and Sidefall believing in making allies on other islands. But they were able to put their differences aside. They banished the propagandist from the Plains Island. And that's the end. The four major Plains nations created
he going
a
to the
great
Snow Island?
Plains alliance. The Plains Island went from being on the brink of war to being the most united island of all.
Oh shit.
And it wasn't just Plains. Toward the end of the day, all four islands were prospering. From the people on Snow collecting resources and building together, to the people in the desert working on the Sultan's Build project, which was to create a massive holy city. Even the jungle was at peace at the end of day 4, since the
Wow.
remaining jungle people were just thankful that they were still alive. Soon though, it
Hell
was the next
yeah.
day. But before we let people back onto the server, the admins and I decided to add a little something.
Another island? A
We
dirt
added a fifth island
island.
in the center of the world, and
Where
we
they could
didn't
fight
tell
over it.
players that we did this. We wanted to see who would discover the island, how long it would take to find, and then what would happen next. So we started up the
I
server.
imagine you
and
see
the
it
wait
immediately,
began.
right? You just go out to the coast and you could look out
But
and see
meanwhile,
it.
we have to talk about the Snow Island.
Okay, what's going on in Snow Island?
Hello,
Hey,
Turkey.
hello, Ish. How's it going?
On day 5, the player A Freakin' Turkey finally gave me a full explanation of the mysterious Snow Empire, which I found out was named the Aculon Empire.
Okay,
Still
weird.
fearing for his safety, the Empire's founder, Alanulo, gave orders entirely from his secret underground bunker, while his second in command, A Freakin' Turkey, carried out his orders and led the people on the ground. You guys have settlements across the entire island.
There is a lot. Just know none of it was made by slaves.
The Empire relied
Okay,
on strict
good to know.
order to maintain peace. It's now 200 citizens were each assigned a daily job like building, mining, or fighting. And whenever they were online, all citizens were required to be in 2 Discord voice channels at once, which I didn't even know was possible. Also,
Holy.
the Aculon Empire made it a point to document everything, including its list of members, its hierarchies,
Holy
its physical
shit.
landmarks. But what I found most impressive was the high-level operation going on in this seemingly regular building.
Okay.
Singular building is the richest place in the entire server.
They called this the Quartermaster's House, and it was where the Aculon Empire not only collected and stored all its
Holy.
resources, but also distributed items using a complex request system, where, for example, a citizen asks for iron ingots, and then the quartermasters decide exactly how much iron that citizen deserves based on a detailed algorithm they developed. Anyone try
Holy
breaking into this place?
shit.
Not yet. Let's just say, if you try to get in without permission, you're not gonna get a very nice welcome.
And I kid you not, just a few minutes later, this player, Xelius, was caught trying to sneak his way in, and he was sentenced to a public execution to be held the next day. Things are kind of strict around
Holy
here, huh?
shit.
Don't take me, my squid. I'm a happy man. Oh, man, look at him.
The Snow Island continued to be hyper-vigilant about criminals, but so were other nations, like the Desert Sultanate, which made an inescapable prison. He is surrounded by lava. Or Wazik's Nation in the jungle, which made a giant sand trap. Oh, this is evil.
Just you wait
Wow.
until we have a nice little deliberation with something.
I'm gonna be put to death, you know. Like,
Even Plains didn't feel exactly safe, as this self-described capitalist nation made a giant wall to protect its people.
We want to make sure
Based?
that communists cannot take this away from
from us.
But
Hell
as I was
yeah.
talking to these guys, I got tipped off from someone in the desert that something big was about to happen. The Sultanate army's on the move.
Oh no, war.
The Sultanate sent his elite squad on a secret nighttime mission. Their goal? To find a group of people that had been rumored to want to assassinate the Sultan.
Oh,
They're at the
shit.
north side of the island now.
Oh yeah, okay, this is our target, this is our target.
Okay, let's go.
According to the Sultan, the people hiding in this little settlement were indeed the attempted assassins, and now the group had a decision to make.
We're gonna kill this guy.
Do we kill this guy?
Up until now, there hadn't been any violence between desert nations. Will this be the breaking point?
Well, there it is.
We are showing the desert that if you make plans to
First blood.
justice will come for you.
The Sultan's elite squad spent the rest of the night raiding the settlement, but during their chase of another suspected assassin, they ran, literally, into a major dilemma.
We know he's running to Theria.
The guy they were trying to kill was running toward the democratic nation of Theria to get asylum there. The Sultanate is really about to roll up on Theria. Holy. This could cause a major conflict. But the Sultanate's army didn't care. They barged into Theria and searched every
shit.
single house to find this one person, who ultimately ended up getting away. Meanwhile,
No
the people of
asylum in
Theria
the
were
desert
freaked
island,
out
huh?
by the raid. But when they looked to their leader Saps for guidance, he was nowhere to be seen.
Oh,
he
no.
had fled. Eventually,
He's
the
a
Sultanate's
coward.
army left, but Theria was not going to forget this.
They're gonna replace him with a different leader, right? Because he ran away like a coward. Gotta kick him out, get a new one in there. Oh, he doesn't look good. The guy's dressed kind of sus.
House, Zelius betrayed our people, and for this, he must die. Glory to Aculon.
Hell yeah.
It was a busy day for A freaking Turkey. The execution was successful, but the Empire didn't yet have a written constitution or a justice system. So A freaking Turkey met with a player who claimed to be a lawyer to set up a legal system.
You get the smaller seat, unfortunately, but do know it is quite important as well.
I'm used to cramming into tight spaces.
Afterward, A freaking
Ew.
Turkey took his guard to Drew
Whoa.
and confronted some farmers who he claimed weren't producing enough food for the Empire.
I swear I will not miss any payment I have to owe you.
Drew, the bow, please. I expect 5 stacks of bread delivered within 1 to 2 business days.
Even though he was a little tyrannical at times, A freaking Turkey was actually becoming very well liked in the Aculon Empire because he got things done and he was a charismatic speaker.
Oh.
Fellow citizens, it is my distinct honor to pronounce Steve and Pixel as husband and wife.
Oh shit!
See, even though he was only the second in command of the Snow's Aculon Empire, many people were starting to view A freaking Turkey as a better candidate for leader than Alanulo, since most people in the Empire had never even seen Alanulo, given that he's been hiding underground the entire time, afraid of being assassinated. In fact, some of his own citizens weren't even sure he existed. While Alanulo ruled from afar, only talking with high-ranking officials, A freaking Turkey was considered a man of the people, someone who talks to everyone. In fact, A freaking Turkey had gained so much notoriety that leaders of other nations were starting to reach out to him for alliances rather than to Alanulo. So as a result of all of this, Alanulo was starting to get a little worried.
Turkey knows that I created this empire and its entire political system, and as long as I am alive, I will be its only ruler.
Okay, dude. Whatever you say, dude.
That's very funny.
Our monkey religion, we hold fast to it.
Monkey religion?
Here on the Jungle Island, things haven't slowed down one bit. Amidst the chaos, this small group had made a monkey religion, and their goal was to build the biggest tree in the entire world.
The monkey never stops. While everyone else is fighting and killing each other, we are peacefully building.
By now, every tribe in the jungle seems to have its own goal. These guys, building a tree. This group, called the Blue Cross, provided food and shelter to refugees. Meanwhile, Wazak's goal, which was still to take over the world, was seemingly driving him mad, especially after the librarians built a second tower. You did this out of spite, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, no. Well, yeah.
Overall, it seemed
Why
like there
did
was
he
a lot
do?
on Wazak's mind, as if he was planning something. Something big. Meanwhile, Seth and the Sea People were still the two biggest tribes in the jungle, and both pursued very innovative political strategies. For example, Seth got married, but only so he could parade around the jungle and demand wedding gifts from everyone. And you know what? It freaking worked. The Sea People, on the other hand, had taken on a massive goal, which was to finally end the chaos in the jungle. And they did this by sending out stealth groups and hunting down thieves, murderers, and anyone who they claimed did wrong. However, some of the supposed wrongdoers they killed were actually actually allies
Knowledge.
of Seth. In response, Seth demanded that the Sea People stop their initiative immediately, but the Sea People planned to continue. All of a sudden, the jungle island was on the verge of a massive war, as if there wasn't enough chaos already.
Make love, not war. You know what I mean? Day 7, baby.
Wait, is someone actually here? I think so.
Oh, they finally found it.
Whoa, this is crazy. This is awesome.
Make love. I wish, dude.
On day 7, a player named the Pokemonkey discovered the secret 5th island. The island had a mysterious
I'm surprised
dead
it
terrain,
took so long
a small pre-built
to
village in the
find.
center, and underground, it contained netherite, which is the strongest and rarest resource in the world.
Wait, it's better than the
Now,
diamond?
Pokemonkey was a part of Sidefall's nation in Plains,
For
and he
making,
quickly alerted
like,
Sidefall
weapons
about
and
the
stuff?
very strange and unexpected discovery he just made. He's taking the Blue Lantern so people believe it. Guys, I'm not lying, there really is an island! 2 minutes later, another person found the center
Oh,
island.
shit.
This time, someone from the jungle. Then, like a domino effect, more and more
In the
people
actual
started
game,
arriving,
no.
typically either alone or in small groups, like these guys from the
Oh, it's a
desert.
mod,
Even
okay.
though they all came from different islands and nations, nobody was fighting. In fact, they seemed to be forming friendships and simply admiring this new mysterious place. He's saying this is amazing. Quickly, word began spreading across the world that there was
like a neutral
5th
zone where
island,
everyone
and
can
about
go
30
and not
minutes
kill
into
each
day
other.
7, basically everyone knew. It was crazy how fast everyone found out. Now, some nations were hesitant about visiting, believing that the island was some sort of trap, while other nations like the Aculon Empire sent out large exploratory groups to investigate the island. So Aculon is here, but instead of mining for netherite, they're taking the wool from the tents. Oh, they don't have sheep in the snow island. That makes sense. Something I found
Yeah, they need
interesting was
wool.
that no nation, not even the Snow Empire, had the courage to publicly claim the center island as part of their nation, as their territory. Probably because it would result in conflict with other nations.
Yeah, it would
which
just start a
was
war.
my secret
When
intention
you-
would
why-
end. The
why-
island,
why-
that it would cause some type of war.
You could just share
but
it.
It didn't cause a war, or maybe just not yet.
Just strip it of
Meanwhile,
resources
I
and then
present
leave it
to
alone.
you
You don't need
the
to keep
story
it.
of Los Pollos Hermanos.
The brother
Wow, you've
chicken
really
or
expanded
something?
your business.
Yeah,
Chicken
we're
brother?
doing quite well.
Because starvation was such a big problem in the desert,
Oh,
Drip
shit,
Chicken
really?
had made it his life's mission to feed the people of the desert. And ever since I spoke with him on day 2 next to his little food stand, Los Pollos Hermanos had become a staple of the Sultanate.
Damn, he
But
upgraded.
His business would soon run into some problems.
How do you get
See,
chickens
on
in the
days
desert?
4 and
though?
5, the Sultan storming hell was unsatisfied with the slow progress on his build projects, the Holy
Huh?
City. So he
Oh.
demanded that the farmers of the Sultanate stop growing food and instead work on his build project.
Is he
and
stupid?
Just like that, the food supply going into Los Pollos Hermanos had completely stopped. The restaurant suddenly had no food available to sell.
Okay, this is
Having
the
no
worst
food,
leader
Drip Chicken was
in the whole
instead
server.
forced to sell some questionable products, and if he was caught selling these products by either the Sultan or the Sultan's twin guards, he would probably receive a life sentence in the Sultanate prison. Meanwhile, the
guards.
farmers of the Sultanate were unhappy since they wanted to farm, not be forced to build. So in a rebellious move on day 5, Drip Chicken and the farmers secretly set up a meeting with Saps, the leader of Theria.
I know you want to move to Theria, but if you do, the Sultan will send his elite squad to hunt you down.
So, what do we do?
Go to Plains or something. There's about to be chaos in the desert.
And Saps was correct.
Uh-oh.
There was about to be chaos in the desert. For reasons he couldn't tell the farmers just yet, but he did tell me.
You know who Davert is?
Yeah, I think so. He's one of the twin guards, right?
He's about to leave the Sultanate and join me.
Really? The
Oh,
two people the
no.
Sultan trusts the most are his 2 twin guards, the brothers Davrit and Zamta. But one of them had grown tired of the authoritarian and warmongering ways of the Sultan. So
True.
Davrit had reached out to the leader of Theria, and together they created the single craziest plan I have ever heard. And this was it. First, Davrit leaves the Sultanate to join Theria. Next, the Sultan finds out about the betrayal and sends his elite squad to kill Davrit.
Yes.
Then, when the elite squad is away hunting for Davrit, and the Sultan is therefore alone, Davrit will sneak back into the Sultanate and kill the
Why would he
Sultan.
leave himself
Davrit will then
alone?
claim leadership over the Sultanate, and as the new leader, he will finally bring peace to the desert.
Okay,
Davrit
I'm in.
has
Let's
no
do it.
way this works. Run
brother. Grow some chest hair. Trust me, you will. brother.
So, at the end of day 7,
Hell yeah.
Everett snuck out of the Sultanate and headed to Theria to begin the operation, while Drip Chicken and the farmers fled to the Plains Island. On their way out, some of them took one final look back at their home, at their restaurant, knowing that they would probably never see it again, knowing that the story of Los Pollos Hermanos had come to an end.
Aw, so sad, dude. No more chicken.
On day 8,
Oops.
there was a major
Sorry, you can see that.
event on the Snow Island. For the first time ever, Emperor Olanulo had come out from his underground bunker.
He came
had
out of the
summoned
ground.
the entire Snow Island
He's
to
real.
the Aculon Castle so
Whoa.
he could publicly be crowned as the leader.
That castle is sick.
Before the coronation, all high-ranking officials were required to provide Olanulo a gift.
I present to you a high-quality pair of premium brand sneakers.
Thank you, Applewood.
I, Baron Saul Goodman, give you this present, Lord Olanulo. My presence is your present.
Wow.
After the gifts, Olanulo asked his second-in-command, A Freakin' Turkey, to make a speech affirming Olanulo's undisputed leadership.
Oh,
My
no.
friends, the Aculon Empire is the strongest nation in the world. Not because of one leader, but because of all of us.
Thank you, Turkey.
At the end of the ceremony, Olanulo asked all of his citizens to follow him out of the castle, down the main path of the Empire, in a symbolic move meant to showcase the unity of the Snow Island.
Okay, cool.
But this image of unity was only a mirage. There was a lot of discontent building within the Empire for many reasons. People didn't like that Olanulo's knights were constantly bossing them around, nor did the Aculon builders like it when Olanulo forced them to work on the Aculon castle instead of letting them finish their own projects. There was this general sense that Olanulo might be overreaching with his power,
Yes.
especially when he started spying on his own citizens to see who was criticizing his leadership. See,
Oh,
Olanulo
that's not
believed that
good.
in order for his citizens to have a good life, they have to live in a strong nation, and the only way to maintain a strong nation was through complete unity under a powerful and unchallenged leader. This is why Olanulo was fearful about the discontent within his nation, as well as the rising popularity of his second-in-command, A Freakin' Turkey.
Why is his
Knowing
face
that they were
look so-
being
oh, it's
spied
supposed to be
on,
a turkey
many of
face.
A Freakin' Turkey supporters were becoming
Oh, I see it
scared
now.
living
It's like
on the
the
Snow
beacon and
Island,
the-
afraid that they would be executed for not supporting Olanulo's leadership. So, with the help of A Freakin' Turkey, plus another high-ranking official, its Ender, some Aculon citizens organized secret evacuations out of the Snow
Oh,
Island
shit.
through underground tunnels, some of which led to Seth's nation in the jungle, others going to Sidefall's nation in plains. Both
No
Seth and
way.
Sidefall were very open to accepting
crazy.
refugees, especially those who opposed Olanulo, someone who they believed to be a dangerous tyrant.
Yeah.
Also, they had just found out that Olanulo had actually sent spies all across the world, including into their own nations, so they didn't like him very much.
We're not going
That's
back until
tough.
there's some form of democracy in Snow.
I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Meanwhile,
Well-
in Plains, Mr. Turkey, are you starting a revolution?
No, I do not want a revolution. I just want to make sure Olanulo doesn't kill these people.
When are you going back to the Snow Island?
Probably tomorrow, because I'm going to try and host a meeting with Olanulo. I just think he's gone too far.
So while A Freakin' Turkey stayed on the Plains Island for the rest of the day, Seth and Sidefall created the first ever multi-island treaty. This treaty not only established Seth and Sidefall as allies, but it also declared their nations refugee states, ones that are willing to accept all people fleeing from dictatorial regimes like the Sultanates
Okay.
or the Aculon Empire.
I'm sure that
As
won't
for
go
A Freakin'
wrong.
Turkey's position in the Aculon Empire, he was still technically the second in command, but it was only a matter of time before Olanulo finds out about the missing citizens, and then it's very likely that Turkey will be stripped of his position, or be kicked out of the Snow Island entirely and become a refugee himself.
What's gonna happen, dude? I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, I don't know if... Wait, is that a basketball court? On day 8,
Holy
the
shit.
center island was getting a lot of visits from curious players, and instead of fighting each other, everyone was just kind of hanging out and doing their own thing.
Look at this.
What is this? Don't question me. Later that night, some adventurers started terraforming the dead terrain, making it green. This actually looks not bad.
Wait, how?
These guys, meanwhile, made a secret underground church, and they hosted many ceremonies and cultural events. What type of ritual is this? Now, I actually attended 2 churches on day 8, the second one in Sidefall's nation, although I was very disturbed by the person sitting next to me.
After a near-death experience,
Holy.
I get to feel more sacred, only to impart the wonders they hold. I cannot say what they are, however. Right way to lead this war.
Whoa, what did I do? They're taking him away.
Oh no.
Later that night, the Plains Island received an unexpected visit from the Aculon Empire's state-sponsored journalist. I'm with the news.
State-sponsored
Go away,
journalist.
tabloids, go away. No false news today. They're kicking out the journalist. Oh
Fake
my-
news,
Meanwhile,
fake
I ran
news.
into these Plains farmers who literally did nothing but plant wheat everywhere. Oh
Holy shit.
Look at all this freaking wheat. Now, right next to the wheat field was a cookie factory in Horus Crown's nation,
Hell
which
yeah.
took the wheat and made a variety of baked goods.
I
See,
love
ever since the
cookies.
Great Plains Alliance was
I don't
signed on
have
day
any
4,
cookies
the
right
people
now.
of Plains believed their island to be, for the most part, a very safe place to live. And as a result, many players felt secure enough to run their own businesses.
Now I'm
there was the
hungry, dude.
bakery, an Outback Steakhouse, boating and kayaking, 2 KFCs, and
2
there was the most recent
KFCs?
addition.
He's got a
Los
franchise.
Pollos Hermanos.
Wait, I thought that
You
died.
made one in the Plains biome?
Yes.
Oh, he made one in a
Claiming
different
refugee
island.
status, Drip Chicken and the Sultanate farmers received citizenship inside Falls Nation, where they were able to
That's
rebuild their famous
sick.
restaurant, and the people of Plains welcomed the refugees with open arms. The only person who wasn't happy was the owner of KFC, who now had competition. Anyway, when word got out in the desert that Drip Chicken and the farmers had fled the Sultanate, as did Davrit, many loyalists in the Sultanate were furious with these betrayals. While the Sultanate was still the second most powerful nation in the world, the first being Aculon, these betrayals of the Sultanate hurt the Sultan's public image, and he feared being seen as weak by the world and by his own people. So predictably, the Sultan sent his elite squad out into the desert to try to find and kill both Davrit and Drip Chicken. But instead of staying home in the Sultanate, this time the Sultan traveled with his elite squad. This threw a wrench into Davrit's assassination plan, and Davrit had no choice but to keep hiding underground until he saw an opportunity to strike. Meanwhile, the leader of Theria, Saps, was extremely worried because he knew
Businessman,
that the fate of his
business
nation and his
plan,
people
true.
rested on this assassination attempt. If
This
it
is actually
succeeds and the Sultan is
crazy,
killed, well,
like
then
all the
is
stuff
well.
going on.
But if it fails, it will only be a matter of time before the Sultan finds out that Saps was behind the plan, and then there is no doubt that the Sultan will seek revenge and absolutely obliterate Theria, killing not just Saps, but all his people who, by the way, were entirely innocent. Saps purposefully didn't tell any of his citizens that he was involved in an assassination plot because they definitely wouldn't approve of something that puts them in such danger. All of this tension in the desert was really starting to get to some people, like this group, which made a giant lava wall around their civilization.
What?
They wanted nothing to do with the politics of the desert, and they were rather paranoid about everything.
The walls keep us safe. We can't leave the walls for long, because then we're not safe. Everyone inside the walls is safe, everyone outside is not safe. They're strangers, we shouldn't trust them.
True.
Oh, by the way, also don't push any buttons you find in here.
Okay. I actually think this group was more of a cult than a civilization, but still, I think they had the right idea.
Hey, there's Planet Safe, dude.
And now we go back to the Jungle War. I say war because both major nations had already basically decided that they cannot coexist in the jungle. Seth was mad at the Sea People for killing many of his allies, while the Sea People were mad because Seth wouldn't let them kill those who they believed to be criminals. Neither nation was willing to compromise on this, so war seemed inevitable. However, because Seth had also recently formed an alliance with Sidefall from Plains, a war between the two jungle nations would likely cause Sidefall, as well as the rest of the Plains Island, to join the battle, thus turning this into an actual world war. So, given that the stakes were so much higher now, both sides agreed to have one final meeting to maybe work things out. It was Wazak who quickly offered his nation as a good neutral location for the meeting, and he was quite enthusiastic about hosting. On day 8, Seth and the Sea People sent their highest-ranking officials to Wazak's nation, where the meeting would take place.
Alright, Seth. You're up first.
I think the Sea People are killing people for a lot of irrational reasons. So, you know, as an example, right? They had 5 stacks of cookies taken from them. That takes like 3 minutes to get, bro. And he's like, I don't think you should murder someone over there.
We requested he give it back, and he basically said no, so he was put on KOS and we killed him.
So that was exactly what Seth just said.
Let me add some context.
Soon, the argument began to escalate.
Killing them over cookies, man?
I'm sorry, but what other ways do we have to stop the chaos in the jungle?
They stole. They deserve to be killed over it.
Do you really want to go to war over this?
Well, if you keep killing our people, then we want to stand by and watch.
Alright, fine. The Sea People declare war.
Alright, let's do it.
But before a fight could begin,
Wow.
Wazak yelled,
Double, no!
Wait, what? Huh?
Oh my god.
Go, 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 go!
I think it is
Wozzeck had just
permadeath.
killed 7 people using his sand trap before getting away. Seth and the Sea People decided to put their war on hold and declared a unified worldwide manhunt for Wozzeck. Everyone was confused about why Wozzeck did this, but then I remembered something Wozzeck had told me the day before.
Listen, if the war breaks out, I have a plan to stop it.
Really? How?
Oh, you'll see, my friend.
When Seth and the Sea People
Holy.
declared war on each other, Wozzeck decided to use his sand trap and make himself the villain so that the entire jungle would make peace to unite against him, therefore actually preventing a world war.
He just saved
Wozzeck is now
everyone
hiding
all by
underground.
himself. Like a straight up Giga Chad. Yeah, see the number in the top left? That's the number of people that are still alive. When you die, you're
After
dead.
spending
dead.
most of the previous day trying to hunt down his enemies, the Sultan storming Hell decided to take a break from the hunt and attend a wedding hosted by a small neighboring desert nation. It was a huge honor in the desert for the Sultan to visit your civilization, so there was a lot of buzz surrounding the Sultan's visit, and everyone in the desert knew he would
How
be
come
there.
he's not wearing his crown anymore?
Zamta the Twin Guard was also at the wedding, and he was quite thankful for the break since he secretly despised having to hunt for his own brother. When the Sultan demanded that Davert be tracked down and killed, Zamta was horrified by this order, but he kept silent, fearing that he'd be next. Zamta could only hope that Davert was far
Wild?
away
Yeah,
now,
for
hiding in
sure.
a place where the Sultan would never find him.
He's just
But it turned
drifting
out
in the
Davert was
ocean,
not
or
far
what?
away at all, because he was on a mission.
A mission.
He's actually here. Davert was coming to kill the Sultan, but he had to be sneaky because the Sultan was guarded by his elite team. The plan was to catch him and his team off guard since it would only take a few hits to kill him. I'm so nervous right now. Did the wedding end? The wedding's over. He's leaving. Oh, he's leaving.
Wait, what?
Oh, Davert!
An assassination attempt on the Sultan.
Oh. He's hit him so many times. Wait, Soren's getting away? The elite team is on Davert big time. Oh. Oh, he's getting close. He's getting close. Oh, he turned around. Holy crap! Everyone's here. This is insane.
They gonna get him? What are they doing? They're just like sitting there. Oh no! They failed. Wait, what's he doing? Why is he naked? What's he doing? Why are you up there? What are you? Oh, I see.
Sultan's on his way back home, I think. What is happening?
I can't believe they didn't get him. What are you doing? What are you looking at him like that for? You see that? Oh!
What? Oh boy. Angry about the death of his brother Davert, Zamta betrayed and killed the Sultan storming Hell in what he called an act of revenge. All of a
Holy
sudden,
shit.
within the span of a few minutes, storming Hell, Saps, and Davert were all dead. Both the Sultanate and Theria were without a leader, and the desert island was in a state of total confusion. Now, because the Sultanate didn't have a solid line of succession, there was a short power struggle that ended with the Sultanate getting completely dissolved. On day
Good.
9, the second most powerful nation in the world had fallen, and most of the Sultanate's citizens ended up fleeing. That being said, it wasn't totally the end. Some who were still loyal to the late Sultan decided to form their own militias, whose only goal was to track down Zamta and avenge the Sultan.
We are called by our divine leader to kill the dirty traitor, mashallah.
Why does he sound like a vampire?
Theria, on the other hand, didn't dissolve and instead elected a new leader, a player named Jophiel, who was well liked and trusted in the community. Still, the people of
Damn,
Theria would
that guy is
continue to
hot.
live in a state of fear, afraid they would be invaded by one of the new desert militias. Also, they would never find out why their founder Saps jumped off the Therian tower, which he did because of guilt. After he saw Daveret die, Saps believed that the Sultan would invade and destroy Theria, and he felt too ashamed knowing that he would be responsible.
He had
It
blonde
was
hair and
only
blue
thanks to
eyes.
Zamta
He was
that the
hot,
invasion
man.
didn't
What are you
happen.
talking about? It's just a fact.
The death
man.
of the Sultan sent shockwaves throughout not just the desert, but the whole world. Many nations went on lockdown, including the Akulon Empire. While they technically weren't allies, Emperor Olanilo had always admired Sultan Storminghel's strong authoritarian leadership.
Oh,
so
no.
after the lockdown, Olanilo sent his diplomats to the desert to offer support to the Sultanate militias. At the same time,
Okay.
on the Plains Island, Drip Chicken of Los Pollos Hermanos was watching the desert from afar, and he was worried about these rumored desert militias. Because Drip Chicken was from the desert, he was able to educate his customers in Plains about the politics of the desert, and after Saps' death, he encouraged Sidefall to send diplomats to Theria quickly, and Sidefall did just that. On day 9, Theria officially joined Seth and all the Plains nations in the refugee state contract, and what originally started as a simple refugee agreement between Seth and Sidefall had now turned into a worldwide alliance called the Alliance of Democratic Nations, or put simply, the Allies.
Oh no, it's everyone versus the Snow Island. Oh no. That's GG.
As the people of the Akulon Empire continued their daily routines, the highest-ranking officials of the Empire gathered to discuss the new existential dilemma they were now facing. The Akulon Empire had always been the most powerful nation in the world, and it still technically is, but when adding together the populations of all the states in the Democratic Nations Alliance, it is the allies that have more people overall. This made Akulon officials extremely worried. They saw this as the first legitimate threat to the regime. Olanilo agreed with this view, but at the moment, his attention was on another problem entirely, the problem known as A Freakin' Turkey. A Freakin' Turkey's rise to popularity had always bothered Olanilo, but now this conflict was at an absolute breaking point because yesterday, one of Olanilo's spies caught A Freakin' Turkey helping Snow citizens flee the Empire. Fleeing or defecting was strictly against Akulon law. Olanilo's spy also saw A Freakin' Turkey hanging out with not just Sidefall, but nearly all the major Plains leaders, which made Olanilo think, is A Freakin' Turkey planning something? Is he secretly working
You're
with
gonna have to
the
execute
allies?
him, dude.
Is he about to orchestrate a full-scale revolution or an invasion of the Akulon Empire? These were all questions that Olanilo was wrestling with, and the more he thought about it, the more he convinced himself that A Freakin' Turkey was probably committing some sort of treason and needed to be stopped. Yesterday, A Freakin' Turkey had reached out to Olanilo for a meeting, and today, Olanilo accepted this request, but with a few conditions. 1, this meeting takes place at the Akulon Castle. 2, Turkey comes alone. And 3, the meeting takes place not today, but tomorrow.
That's not
because
good.
Olanilo needed some extra time for his builders to finish a certain project located on the top of the Akulon
Dude,
Castle.
that is insane.
Nobody knew
Castle's
why or what
insane.
the strange-looking tower was, but Olanilo insisted it be completed by the time Turkey shows up.
Dude, watch him work, man. Holy shit.
Tomorrow is certainly going to be interesting, so make sure everyone's ready.
Lastly, later in the day, Olanilo sent diplomats to establish alliances with both the desert militias and with the sea people in the jungle. Olanilo appreciated the sea people's value of order, and he promised that he will help them stop the chaos in the jungle and help them catch their #1 most wanted criminal, Wazuk. The sea people accepted this alliance, but they ended up not needing Akulon's help because late into day 9, Wazuk decided to turn himself in.
Oh shit. What's up,
He's about to be
nurse? How you doing,
executed. A
dude?
guilty conscience, perhaps.
This is crazy, dude. The plot of the Minecraft movie should have been this instead of whatever the hell it was.
I understand you have a prepared statement. You may now read your final words.
Yes, thank you. Hello everyone, it's your old friend Wazok. In the beginning, I wanted to rule the world.
Whoa,
But I
look
had
at
made some
that.
bad decisions. And now, it's my time to go.
You killed innocents.
If there's one thing I've learned, is that time can never be your trusted friend.
Yeah.
Long live the jungle.
Is he just gonna jump or something else? Oh, they push him. Okay. Why is it so dramatic?
After deciding that being a criminal in hiding isn't how he wanted to live, Wazik instead chose to face his inevitable death on his own
He
terms.
walked the
and
plank,
by doing
that's
so,
true.
he gave the jungle one last moment of unity.
Anyone else jump in?
You know,
conflict
alright, I was
between
curious
the
what
two
you
major
react to,
jungle
Andy,
tribes
too.
was still
Yep, here it
unresolved,
is.
especially now that
You
they
ever
were
seen this
opposing
before?
alliances, but
It's called
for
A
this
Thousand
brief
Players Build
moment,
Massive
there was
Civilization
peace
in Minecraft.
the jungle. Well, that was fun. Everyone's coming down the tree now.
It's really interesting, actually.
Most nations around the world
They're like
took
forming
the end
like
of day 9 to
governments
rest and
and
reflect on how
and
far they've
cities
come.
and
For example, the Jungle's
and
Blue Cross
empires.
Tribe celebrated becoming international with at least one
And
charity
they're
location
warring
on
with
each
each
island.
other, and they're trading
Meanwhile,
with
in the
each
desert,
other,
the
and
two
they're
sultanate militias
allying
held a
with each
funeral
other.
for the late sultan, where they vowed to get
crazy.
revenge and chanted death to Theria, after which they proceeded to
Oh.
finish building the sultan's holy city
Look at
in
that.
his honor. Theria, on the other hand, expanded its reach into the arts and became the first civilization to develop music.
Oh, nice.
Oh. Lastly, on the Plains Island, businesses were booming and civilizations were thriving. On day 9, the Plains Island had finished the construction of the ISH, the International State Highway, which
Oh,
made
sick.
trade and transportation between the major Plains nations much faster. Overall, the building and architecture and player creativity in Plains was simply amazing, and it was all made possible by the political stability of the Plains Island. Many in the desert and jungle and snow looked at Plains as the shining beacon that they can aspire to be like one day.
Interesting. Uh-oh. Dude, that looks
As
cool.
the end of the day approached, A Freak and Turkey returned to the Plains Tavern
Half of what
after
they do in the
spending
game is
the day
probably
traveling
for the
around the
memes
world,
or for the
visiting
vibes,
civilizations in
not
the
because they
jungle, the
believe
deserts,
it.
and of course the Plains Island. During many of his visits, he was very
I
surprised
don't know,
when he found
man.
out that
You never
most
know,
people
man.
from these foreign nations not only knew about him, but admired him. This was because rumor had spread about his disobedience to Olanulo.
Maybe
and
this
as
is
a
the only
result,
place
he
they
had
can
earned
truly
a
be
worldwide
themselves.
reputation as the savior of
And in
refugees,
the real world,
the
they're-
honorable rebel, the man who stood up
they're
to
held
the emperor.
down, they're held
and
back,
everywhere A Freak and Turkey
they can't
went, he
express
was welcomed
themselves.
with open arms. By the way, I think he would have been perfect for that.
Yeah, I heard there was a comedy show here. You should have called me over.
When it came to the Aculon Empire, the truth was, A Freak and Turkey had no intention of causing any type of uprising or revolution. In fact, he was strictly against the idea, knowing just how devastating a major war would be. But he did want change in the Empire. During his prolonged stay in Plains,
Goes
he
both
had
ways? Yeah,
seen
maybe.
what freedom and democracy look like. He had come to regret his more tyrannical actions in the early days, and he now envisioned a reformed Aculon Empire. His
Oh,
new
shit.
dream was to bring democracy to Snow, bring freedom to the people of the Aculon Empire, and make the Snow refugees feel safe to come back home.
Yeah, freedom, yeah.
I might just be overly optimistic, but I think we can achieve world peace.
Okay.
World
if A Freak and
peace.
Turkey is able to convince Olanulo to convert the Empire from a tyrannical dictatorship into a free democracy, and then the Aculon Empire ends up joining the Allies, then world peace wouldn't just be a far-fetched idea for wishful thinkers. It would actually happen.
That would be crazy.
With this massive goal in mind, A Freak and Turkey prepared for tomorrow for his big meeting with Olanulo.
Day 10.
Just remember everything we talked about. We'll be watching.
Before A Freak and Turkey took off for the Snow Island, he had met with the 4 major Plains leaders one last time to tell them what he hopes to achieve in his upcoming talk with Olanulo. The Plains leaders were pessimistic. See, when they heard about Olanulo's strict conditions for the meeting to take place, they suspected that this was going to be the meeting where Olanulo removes Turkey from his second-in-command position, or worse, puts Turkey in Aculon's prison. Whatever happens today, the Plains leaders promised Turkey that he has the full support of the allied nations. Even if they can't attend
shit.
the meeting, they will be watching and
This
will
could
do
be
whatever
all-out
they can
war
to help
depending
him.
on what the snow guy does. It could be straight up all-out war, dude.
There we go. Turkey is now back on the Snow Island.
Hi.
I think he's going to the meeting right away.
Hi. 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 How are you? How are you doing? Hello. Hi.
This is weird.
Hello.
Turkey's been in the castle for like a few minutes now, and Olanulo's nowhere to be seen.
Oh no, what's happening? What's going on?
Oh, he's right here.
Oh, there
He's
he
on
is.
his
Okay.
way.
Getting nervous here.
we go. Everyone's here now? I think everyone's here now. Knights come to the castle. Wow, I think these are all the high-ranking officials of Akulon. They're all here.
Oh shit, they're all here.
Hear ye. All barons, Duke Turkey,
All
and
of
fellow knights have now come together to speak with Emperor Elanulo. Elanulo, would you please start the conversation?
Wait. Turkey, hold up. So before we begin, sorry to interrupt. I have a special thing I want to do real quick.
Wait.
Here.
Drew, not yet. I want to do something first. Turkey, can you sit on the throne for a second?
Uh-oh, what's happening?
Why?
Just do it.
Okay. What are we doing?
What is happening?
Can I trust you, Turkey?
Wait, what? Hold?
Yeah?
You like this, right?
Oh no.
Sitting on the throne?
You put me on here. I don't know what you're talking about.
In front of all these people?
What are you getting on about?
I know that you've colluded with the Plains Alliance. And I know that you want to take over this nation. Take this throne for yourself.
Whoa. What?
There's nothing you can do at this point to convince me that you're not plotting a revolution against me. I caught you red-handed.
No! Elanulo! Yes, I've talked with Plains. I've also talked with Desert and Jungle. I am a diplomat. And I'll tell you this, all those people that I talked with will become our allies the moment we turn this place into an actual democracy.
Why are you secretly leading people off my island?
Okay.
Because they thought you were going to kill them.
Yep.
And to be honest, so did I. So that's the point of this meeting. You want to get rid of me?
Yep.
You know what? How about I just leave, and you won't have to deal with me again? I'm just gonna go, okay?
What's he gonna do?
Yeah, and then you'll come back with an army.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Turkey.
Oh no. I mean, the army's gonna come either way. The army's gonna come if you kill him. Also, like, what? Okay, well. Turkey, my beloved. Okay, it's wartime now.
Oh, wait, they're killing Turkey's supporters. They're hunting down his supporters as well.
What?
This is crazy. Like that, there was a purge on the Snow Island, and many of Turkey's supporters were killed. The few who were able to escape immediately swam to the other islands to tell everyone exactly what happened.
And all of the knights started executing Bernie, Ender, Turkey. They assassinated some of the most loved members of Akulon.
When Avery and Turkey's death message appeared in chat, people around the world were outraged, and shortly after, the leaders of the allied nations started activating their militaries, putting them on standby.
Yeah.
Turkey once visited Los Pollos Hermanos, giving the army chicken for 50% off to make sure they're ready for battle.
Meanwhile,
he bought
Elanulo
chicken
got
from
word
me.
that the allies were preparing their armies, so he declared a full lockdown, reached out to his own allies, and called them to the Akulon castle to be ready in case the allies declare war. And sure enough, when the Plains leaders talked with Theria and Seth, the votes was unanimous. On day 10, the Alliance of Democratic Nations officially declared war on the Akulon Empire.
Hell yeah, brother.
I just want to say I wish you luck and great success. Hopefully we all see some of you tomorrow to sign the Constitution of the new Akulon Republic, the new Akulon Republic that we all dream about having. Thank you. Thank you all.
This isn't about us. This isn't about our lot. It's about getting justice for Turkey and ridding the world of tyranny.
All the allied nations met up at the center island so they could attack the Snow Island together.
Today, we fight for revenge.
Is that his real voice?
We fight for freedom.
Or is that like recorded from something else? That's a badass voice. Hell yeah.
But little did the allies know, Elanulo had set a trap. The Akulon builders had taken inspiration from history and created what they called the Iron Torch, the most advanced defensive tower in the world, complete with dangerous height, sturdy walls, arrow slits, and lava cover.
What the hell?
This is crazy.
I don't know what maybe she needs to go outside.
They're here.
All right, let's go, baby. Wartime. The Battle of Akulon. wipe them out, dude.
Time can
Oh,
never
shit.
be your trusted friend or your sworn ally. No, it's the harshest mistress of all. And life is just a chain of moments.
Listening.
A thousand hellos and
This is
goodbyes.
cinema, dude.
Maybe a love like ours can lead out its call.
Oh shit.
We'll keep you near until the world ends and
Oh, that was good. Wait, the lava's coming down now? Oh, falling stalactite? Oh shit. Ow.
They're dropping lava on them.
keep going.
Holy shit, dude, this is epic. Oh no! Oh. Holy. I don't know anything about portals, I don't know. They didn't mention anything about it.
Soon after Olanulo died, the Aculon Empire officially surrendered.
Wait,
Hell
I
yeah.
can't say they surrendered? Still kill them.
But even though Aculon
What?
surrendered, the Allies didn't stop fighting. No mercy, no mercy. They're all saying no mercy.
I think
With
as
that, there
a
was a purge on the Snow
democratic
Island, but
republic,
this
you should
time,
probably
it was
accept
the
their
supporters
surrender.
of Turkey doing the killing. It's just an absolute slaughter fest.
That's the right thing to do, right?
After a while, the Allies had completely taken over the Iron Torch, and all the Aculon forces had either been killed or had fled the island and gone into hiding.
Wait, you
And
survived
with
that
that,
with
the
the boat?
Alliance of Democratic Nations had defeated the Aculon Empire.
Hell yeah,
It was only
dude.
when the war ended and the clouds parted that the Allies were finally able to reflect on what they had done. They had succeeded, but they had also shown no mercy. When their
Yeah.
enemy surrendered,
They
they
kinda-
continued to be ruthless.
They kind of
and
turned
thirsty for
into the
blood.
enemy, right?
It was as if they had become their enemy. As the Allies each safely returned to their homes, now with a clear mind,
I mean, that's one way to
many of
look at
them
it, I guess.
felt
but
regret.
I don't believe
Neither
that
side
way.
was completely innocent, and the war was complicated. But at least it was over. And the Allies had won.
Days later, how many? Oh, lost over 200 people.
Over the next few days, the people of Plains, Theria, Seth, and a few smaller nations created a world alliance with a massive parliament building on the center island where world leaders met to discuss
Whoa,
the affairs
look
of their
at
nations
that.
and most importantly, to keep the peace. And the first order of business was pardoning the few living players who fought for Aculon so they didn't have to live in hiding.
I think in a war, if they
Meanwhile,
surrender,
the
you
snow
accept the surrender,
refugees
and
were
then you
able to move
force
back
the
to
terms of
Snow
the surrender
Island
on them
and create
afterwards.
The new Aculon Republic, putting democracy
And then if they
in
don't accept, you
snow.
go back to war.
They
If they
also
do accept,
tore
then
down
it's
the
over.
remains of the Iron Torch and put in its place a graveyard honoring all who died in the Battle of Aculon. And overlooking the graveyard was the man, or Turkey, who inspired them all.
Whoa, that's sick. Wait, that's Turkey? Imagine.
And so, the jungle
playing
went
this
back
game
to
and have a
hosting comedy
giant
shows.
statue
The desert
built
went back to
for you?
pursuing the arts, and Drift Chicken went back to running
Yeah,
Los
yeah, yeah,
Pollos
yeah. I mean,
Hermanos.
yeah.
After all that happened throughout the days, things were finally settling down.
Dude, this is sick.
For many players, the newfound peace allowed for new stories.
Legal
to begin.
advice? Is that what
But
that
for
sign
us,
said?
It's a good place to end.
Holy shit. Oh my god. Wait, they have 1,000 players simulate prison and 1,000 players simulate civilization rich and poor. Holy ish ISH YouTube channel. Go subscribe, dude. 40 million views on this video. That's insane, dude. That's crazy, man. W Nitro. Okay, dude. Thank you for the video. It was a good video. I appreciate that, dude. Bye-bye. Later, everyone. Bye-bye.